Hi there, it's Anthony, and it's time for another reaction to Dexter. So, this is season 2, episode 7. That night, a forest grew. Now, if that's a reference to something, I don't know. I'm not familiar with what that might mean. It sounds like it could be a reference to something, but who knows? I also have no idea what that could imply is about to happen in the episode. Dexter has a way of making some pretty cool titles that you kind of don't understand the context behind until after you see the episode. So I'm looking forward to seeing what all this one has in store for us. It's a lot going on. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next, especially since Dexter and Rita are broken up now. So that's it. Let's just go ahead and get into it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
I'm tired of reacting to the moves of Agent Lundy and his super posse. Time to control their actions for a change.
Wow, Dexter's kind of moving himself into a new position now. He has just been reacting so far. That's not even something I thought about. I never thought about the fact that he might eventually start to take a more proactive stance on things here.
I never asked you to do that, Maria.
Well, I did it out of my own concern over your obsessive behavior. Now I'm on the line. So if you bully Dexter in any way, if you even look at him wrong, I will not be responsible for the fallout. You got it?
I got it. Sir?
I kind of want to see more of like, I'm glad we've been seeing more and more of Dokes and LaGuerta lately, and I guess just their sort of partnership and relationship that they have, their dynamic and whatnot. Because you can tell that back in the day they really used to be like, obviously they were partners, but they were like good partners, and you can tell they definitely had sort of a good rapport and very good chemistry there. So it's always fun when we can see that here. And I kind of want to see a little bit more of it, because you always get the feeling of like that's what used to be, but now now they're not as much of a team as they used to be, just because LaGuerta's the lieutenant now and whatnot, so they don't get to work as closely. But it's always fun just to see their dynamic, even when they're having moments like that where they're more so at odds than they are, on the same page. I also just think that the actors work very well together.
The truth speaks to me from a peaceful place. Gotta set the stage to hear it. Know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, Lundy is a really cool character, and it's like, on the one hand, because he's such a cool character, you do find yourself just somewhat like rooting for him to succeed in what he wants to do. But then you remember, oh, but wait, that's gonna be the worst thing ever for Dexter. So, we can't really root for that, because we don't want anything to happen to Dexter. But if it wasn't for the fact that like basically he's in a complete conflict of interest with Dexter, and if he gets what he wants, then Dexter's gonna be screwed. If it wasn't for that fact, I would really just be 100% behind Lundy, because I really like him as a character. I would be like, man, I hope he figures this out. But since he's trying to catch Dexter, I hope he thinks he figures something out, but doesn't actually figure the real thing out, because I want him to at least have a personal win in his mind and in his heart, because he's a great guy.
Neighbors heard him yelling at her this morning. Then he comes home for lunch. Motive and opportunity. What the blood say?
Just the scene here kind of reminds me of Veronica Mars, the Lily Kane murder, where originally it was suspected that her father killed her and whatnot, and it was by their swimming pool, and she was lying there dead or whatnot. This just puts me in the mind of that, and Veronica Mars is one of my favorite shows. She is exercising to that music. Wow. That says something right there. And I was wondering earlier during that scene between her and Lundy, I was like, what's going on here? Is this just a really close, father type relationship, mentor type relationship? Or is she actually developing some type of feelings for this guy? I don't know. But she's exercising to his favorite music, and it's like classical music that people would not usually exercise to. So that's very interesting.
Mr. Wilson, you're free to go.
What the hell, Lieutenant? This man is a killer.
This man has been through enough for one day.
This man's daughter just died, and he's just been getting railed on by Dokes, who is such an intense, aggressive guy. Imagine how bad that must feel.
Telling me you're not the right one for me.
I hope she's not just confusing her feelings for Lundy, as the feelings, that she never got from her father or whatnot. since her father did tend to not pay any attention to her and only pay attention to Dexter.
Shut the fuck up.
Ooh.
Nobody talks about my kids that way. That girl. That's what
See,
I
hate it when people do that. I hate it when people do that. And they're like, yeah, see, now I'm like, no, just shut up. Like, stop. Like, oh, that is the most annoying thing. Well, it's not the most annoying thing. Like, but that is one of the most annoying things. Oh my gosh, I hate it when people do that.
to get you on your feet.
Oh my gosh. I'm tired of her trying to twist this to her helping Rita. Like, no, you're not doing anything but throwing a wrench in things. This is so annoying. This is Rita's house. You're going to get out, and it's not because you getting out is what's going to get Rita on her feet. It's because you are a nuisance that is not contributing anything positive to this environment. This lady is by far the most dislikable character on this show so far, man. Which I guess just is still good because they managed to write somebody that you hate so much. Like, she reminds me of, like, Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. Like, I just legitimately do not like her at all. Like, I'm like, it's not even like I love to hate her. I just hate her. Which I still acknowledge means that I guess she was well written, but I just hate her.
Kill one man and you're a murderer. Kill thousands, a conqueror.
And I'm sure
Kill
she
them-
probably has like another deep layer to her or something, or a reason why she acts like this that maybe we'll get into, and maybe over time she grows more favorable as a character. I don't know. So I'm not trying to like just say I just hate her just forever. Maybe something will happen and over time she becomes a more favorable character. But as of season 2, episode 7, I just hate her.
You finally decided to fight back.
Dexter's just... Oh yeah, that's right. Dexter's been fighting back actively in multiple ways, huh? Against Dokes and with the Bay Harbor Butcher. And that's smart, just taking random stuff from blogs and stuff so that they can try to do some type of, personality examination of his own personality from the manifesto.
There ain't no paper trail on the early years of Dexter Morgan.
He's so happy. Like, I mean, not happy, but he just has this sinister smile. This guy has one of the best sinister smiles I've ever seen. Dexter's like, stop. I'm just a lab tech. I don't know how good this might be though, because if Dokes isn't in the, in the force or whatever, like he might just start working outside the law. Dokes is gonna figure out about Dexter before Lundy, though. I think. I don't think Lundy's actually. I mean, like he might, but personally, I just have never actually expected for Lundy to find out about Dexter. I always have expected like he might get close, but like I said earlier, he might just get the wrong thing or something, get the wrong person or the wrong impression or something, and won't actually find out about Dexter. Maybe I'm wrong. But Dokes, I really do have a feeling he will eventually find out about Dexter. I don't know what that's going to lead to exactly. And maybe Dokes will be one of the only people to know. Maybe eventually Dokes will like stand with him and will know, but will be more supportive somehow. That sounds like a crazy twist. But I mean, this is a long show, so I can imagine it getting to that point at some point. But yeah, I have a feeling Dokes will actually find out, man, because he's very determined. Like, Agent Lundy is good, but for now, Dexter is better. Because I don't think Dexter really was worried too much about having a front page story or anything like that. Nor was he worried about the victims' names being released as some sense of, I guess, retribution for the wrongs that they did. Now the world knows that they were, people that killed somebody, and that's why they got killed. Like, Dexter's not worried about any of that. He's just trying to, throw some red herrings out there, throw them on the wrong trail.
For is pissed off at God, and that's why he kills people.
Really? I actually found him very politically motivated.
Yeah, like a modern-day revolutionary.
Okay, Lundy's probably going to be like, see, now all of you have these different impressions, so what does that tell us? This guy is playing with us. This is exactly what he wants. He wrote this in order to send us in different directions. Lundy's going to be the person that probably doesn't fall for this.
This is what he wants.
Yep. Man, they keep on like one-upping each other because, yeah, Dexter did all that to throw them off, but Lundy's good too. He still managed to get a profile of Dexter, even though Dexter just said everything wrong. You know what I mean? It's like that website, the Akinator, where if you just start trying to put in purposely incorrect answers to make it wrong, it'll even guess you're just saying random things. So it's like that. It's like he even can tell when there's nothing to tell, and he can tell what to tell from knowing that there's nothing to tell. Like, Lundy is good. Law enforcement. Uh-oh. He's getting close. Law enforcement background. What do they start thinking is dokes? This man's good. Like, he's getting really close. I don't know, man. Like, it really seems feasible that he could figure out that it's Dexter. I just feel like somehow he won't. Because it seems like if he does, like, how does Dexter get out of that? But yeah, man, he's good. I mean, Dexter is the kind of guy that you could imagine being a serial killer. Like, if I was looking for serial killers, and I actively knew that a general proximity where a serial killer might be, so I'm looking around the police station, Dexter is definitely somebody that would stand out to me as a potential serial killer, you know? Like, maybe not if I'm just not thinking about it in the context of serial killers, but if I'm looking around for a serial killer, Dexter would stand out. Yeah, man, Lila, she's bothered by this. And yeah, this definitely makes you think, you know, she was intentionally leaving that voicemail last time. Because it's been a lot of signs showing this isn't just some happenstance mess where, like, you know, Dexter ended up breaking up with Rita and getting with Lila, and Lila's just like, there, like, okay. Like, it seemed like she's been planning this, and this is what she's actively wanted to happen. And actively making happen. This lady is crazy. See, he's that light.
You got your light fixed.
Yeah, that should be a telltale sign. Oh, that is so good, man. That is so good. That is so good. Oh my gosh. The way they foreshadowed that, man, is so good. They showed us earlier in the episode. More specifically, they showed Dexter earlier in the episode that Lila is willing to cause destruction to fix something for herself when she did to the light bulb. That's just such a smaller instance of that type of behavior. Then now she's burning down her whole apartment just to make sure that Dexter stays. It's extremely manipulative, like, obviously. I mean, like, to a ridiculous point. Like, that's off the charts manipulation. Also, just, you know, self-destructive as well. Like, hurting your own money, hurting your own place, potentially hurting your own heart, your own, you know, health, your body, potentially killing yourself. Like, it's crazy, man. And, you know, I hope that Dexter can piece that together. It looks like the wheels were already turning because he made the comment about her light. So I hope that he notices that, because, you know, this episode, Dexter was being a bit of the manipulator himself. You know, he sent in the manifesto and whatnot. He attacked Dokes with the headbutt and then got Dokes to really attack him outside in front of everybody. So Dexter had been doing a lot of manipulation this episode. But then, in a funny sort of twist of irony, he ends up having somebody try to manipulate him as well at the very end. So I just think that the way all of that weaved together is so cool. And it's just so cool the way that they've been portraying Lila. Like, those really subtle looks that she gives. And I bet now, if I were to go back and rewatch some of the other things, it's a lot of signs there too of stuff she was planning. But it's like just those subtle looks. Like, it's not like how on a lot of shows where somebody might say something and then it'll linger on the person looking, and they're like, okay. But you're thinking, okay, in real life, anybody would notice that that person just made that face, you know? It felt like here, it was just the most, like, just subtle look. For a moment, you just saw, like, this look in her eyes and, like, her mouth slightly curl in a weird way. But, like, she was just like, whatever you feel you need to do. So, good acting, good writing, good direction, just all around well done. So, that's going to be really interesting, seeing where we're going from here with that. You know, Lundy and Deb, like, I mean, he didn't pull away from that kiss, so I guess that means he must be interested in her too. I'm interested in seeing how long that's going to go on. Also, isn't Lundy just there for the case? Like, doesn't he leave once he finishes the case? Like, I don't know, but I mean, I guess I will see as I continue to watch the show in terms of that. But you know, that's a very interesting, a little bit of a May to December relationship there, but nothing wrong with that, I guess. I'm definitely wondering how that's going to pan out, how other people are going to see that, if Deb is going to eventually, get tired of that, or if he's going to get tired of her, or if maybe they will really last. Who knows? But you just can't help but wonder if this is just all, Deb really seeing him as a father figure, but not really knowing what that feeling feels like, because she didn't have that type of connection with her father, it seems. So it might just be that that's what she's feeling, and she's mistaking it for, romantic interest. But I'm not sure. But that definitely seems like a possibility to consider. Dokes this episode, he has been flying off the handle a bit recently. I mean, killing people, obviously attacking Dexter, just stalking Dexter. It's like, yeah, Dokes typically he's right with this stuff, but it's like the measures that he's going to prove that he's right, or even just to confirm something to himself, is crazy. And of course, it's going to make other people think that he's crazy as well. So, man, now that Dokes just had to turn in his badge and gun, he's on administrative leave or whatever it's called. To me, that sounds like that might even be worse for Dexter, because who knows what lengths Dokes might stoop to now. I mean, this man can do anything, man. I don't know. Dokes is kind of crazy too. But I feel like him and Dexter are kindred spirits in some ways. Like, I don't know. I have a feeling somehow, I really cannot see how this could happen, but I have a feeling that somehow, someday, at some point in the series, Dokes and Dexter will actually be friends and will actually be able to bond over this stuff. But I don't know if that could ever really happen or will ever happen, but it's kind of a little prediction that I have, I guess. But I do think that Dokes is going to find out about who Dexter really is. I don't know if I think that Lundy will find out, even though I think Lundy is really good, because him and Dexter just keep on one-upping each other. I don't know if I think that Lundy will find out or not, because for one thing, it's just like, how does Dexter get out of that if Lundy finds out? But, I do think Lundy's going to get really close, and he might find out something else, and maybe he'll get the wrong person or something. I don't know. But Dokes, I have a feeling he's going to actually find out, just because while Lundy is really good and he knows how to tap into the minds of these people, and if there's anybody that could do this, it seems like it would be Lundy, because no matter how much misdirection Dexter throws, Lundy can still decode it and figure out what it really means. Dokes seems like he really is sort of on a similar wavelength mentally as Dexter. Kind of like a take one to know one type situation in a way. Like, I feel like we could have a whole series about Dokes and what's going on in his head, honestly. So, yeah, I feel like if there's anybody that could really figure it out, it's Dokes. So, I can't wait to see where this is gonna go, man. A lot of interesting stuff happened in this episode, man. Seeing Cody and Aster still so connected to Dexter, it's so bittersweet, because you're like, oh, that's great that they really do see him as a father figure in a way, and they have such a good connection with him. But it's like, at the same time, you're like, how sustainable is this? Like, how long can this last? Like, because Dexter and Rita aren't together, and Dexter isn't their biological father, but it's like they still just have this connection, so it's kind of awkward. You know what I mean? I feel like it could work though. Like, I could foresee a period, like, just like, not even just a period, but I could foresee it getting to a point where, like, even though Dexter isn't their father, he's still like a father figure in their life somehow. And like, they're still, they stay connected with Dexter, even maybe beyond when Dexter and Rita talk that much. I don't know. Like, I could definitely imagine them still somehow like having a relationship with Dexter, just because it seems like it kind of went beyond just, Dexter being their mom's boyfriend, He really was kind of like, or is kind of like a father to them. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see where that goes, and I hope that at least that things don't go too badly for Cody and Aster, because I want to see them happy, and I want to see Rita happy too. Although it's like, I just don't know if being with Dexter is ultimately going to be the best thing for Rita. But obviously being with Lila is not the best thing for Dexter either. I don't know, man. It's like, I want Dexter and Rita to be together and be happy, but the way Dexter's been acting lately, like, I just don't know if that would be the best thing for Rita. Not that I think there's anything wrong with Dexter or whatnot, but it just seems like, he's starting to become more more acceptant of himself, if that makes sense. And that is a great thing, you know, that's a great thing for Dexter, I guess, even though self-acceptance in his case means accepting that you're a serial killer. But while that's a great thing for Dexter, it makes you wonder, how much is that a great thing for his loved ones and whatnot, the people around him? It's like it takes a certain type of person to be with, for that not to, you know, ultimately end up turning bad. Not saying he's gonna kill Rita, obviously, but it just seems like there's a lot of ways that could go bad. Lila seemed like she could have been the type of person that maybe it could work with, but now no. Screw Lila. Like, I had a bad feeling about her at first. Then she started being all manipulative, and she kind of tricked me even in thinking, okay, well, maybe Lila might just be what Dexter needs. Even though, personally, I prefer Rita over her. Maybe for Dexter specifically, especially in the journey that he's on now, maybe Lila's what he needs. But no, screw Lila and her manipulative self. No. So, okay. I guess that's pretty much everything that I have to say for this episode. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And head to Patreon for the full uncut reactions if you're watching it on YouTube, because that means this was just the review. But on Patreon, the full reaction is there. And they're coming out a lot earlier than YouTube. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, everyone. I will see you later.